Fam, welcome back. So I just made that video to be alone earlier today, and the response I got from you guys was amazing, phenomenal, and it really puts it in perspective. The fam is out here, like, we're together, and all that support, wow. I just want to say thank you. And I also needed to qualify. To be alone is not to be lonely. I love my solitude. Absolutely love it. Like, I would, for as long as I could remember, like, I cherished my time alone, right? And I still do. I mean, yeah, I still do. But there are times on this path where, you know, like, damn, it'd be nice to share this with somebody, right? So I'm 20 and I haven't had a girlfriend in years. Like, every single night I spend alone, like, in nature or creating. And I love it. 90% of the time I'm in my element. And it's like, and this has pushed me to become, this has pushed my growth well beyond. And so I needed to qualify that, say thank you to you guys. And it kind of inspired me to make another video about my journey, as like my journey through solitude, and like how I used to distract myself more from it, or like distract myself with friends and work, and the crash of everything, you know, the dark night of the soul, which I think happens repeatedly every year, right? Because like those times when you feel really lonely and really sad, like I was kind of feeling earlier today, like those times, like, cherish those, accept them, embrace the loneliness, don't block it out, like, be alone those nights, and don't fight it, because like those are the times of the greatest growth. Cherish those, because that perspective you get during those emotionally hard times is what fuels the next move you make and who you become. So I'll say more on that later, so let's just talk about the journey. And then, at the very end of this video, make sure you guys catch some keys for being alone, how to be alone and not be lonely, and things to remember if you're like truly out here alone, because if we're not, like, I just realized like the difference between when I do have like my one good friend around, or if I'm by myself, the difference in how to really get back up here, because we can always fall into deep, dark spots being alone for so long, and like I've been there, like just like the crash, but we're rising back up, and it feels good to get back on your feet. So let's get into it. Yeah, for as long as I can remember, I always like cherish my alone time, although I got pushed away from that, but like always creating, always doing things, right? Whether it was like making videos or drawing or writing. And I loved my time alone in my room. So like as of like 4 years ago, I wanted to be like a millionaire, and I wanted to have my own business and all these things. So I was constantly like reading and writing and doing like researching on the internet. And like that kind of actually kickstarted my awakening, because I spent all this time alone learning. And I learned everything. Like, I was a ravenous reader and like researcher, and from everywhere from like physics to computer science, psychology, philosophy. Like my old room was filled with shit, just like all the walls and notes and notebooks on notebooks of shit. All the books. So funny. It's like a different life now. And then that kind of transformed into more like meditation and like really like introspection and philosophy, where I was writing and drawing and creating a lot more than like learning. And that's when I like awakened, like 2 years back. And then, like, for 1 year, that was, like, the deconstruction of my whole life and ego. which was like the hardest times. Yeah, and since then, alone, like, being alone is what inspired me to create Reality Files, you know. If I was never alone, Reality Files never would have happened. This idea came to me hundreds and hundreds of times, sitting in my room, thinking about the truth and just shitting on this world. And at this point, I really vibe with what Nikola Tesla and a lot of other, like, extremely creative people have said, and that is invention. The imagination into reality, right? Creating is the greatest joy you could ever feel. And I completely agree with that. Like, when you're in your element, be alone. Great ideas come to those who are alone, right? And you learn how to think for yourself. You learn how to think originally. Because if you're with everyone else, the ideas you're going to be having are, okay, what's going to get me ahead in this world? What's going to propel me with this group of friends? What's going to make me popular? What are they going to like? What should I add? But when you're alone, great ideas can come to you, right? And especially if you're guided by inspiration. Especially if you're doing a holistic approach to life. So you're raising your energy, right? And like, yeah, creating ideas, and that sounds kind of weird, but like, when I have a really good idea, like I really want to do something, right? I really want to create Reality Files. The energy you get from the creation, the energy you get from seeing it come to life is like nothing else. It's what drives me every day. It's my fire. It's my flame. And that's only cultivated when I'm alone, right? And also, when you're alone, you grow, you build yourself, especially if you stop distracting yourself. You see, I was once really distracted with all the work. And even when it would come to like a night, and I had an option between hanging out with these friends where we'd probably just like go party or smoke or like talk about stupid shit and girls and sports and just like things that were really unfulfilling to me. Like, I just found myself like kind of edging away from that. And then at one point I'm like, yo, what do I want my life to be like? Where do I want to be? Like, is this shit, I'm only hanging out with them, so I'm not truly alone. So like, I kind of gave all that up and I stopped distracting myself. So those nights where I could have chose to, go watch a movie, or, you know, just like do mindless work that's really I don't need to do, or hang out with friends, I started just sitting with the stars and sitting in nature. And this is the most important element in my growth period. To really sit alone and to not think, to get your mind out of the rat race, to get your mind free. And fluid. The moment you can free your mind, and before you do that, you need to free your time and free your environment. You cannot have chains and obligations and all this shit weighing down your mind. When your mind can really be expansive and flow, and you're open-minded as fuck, which I'm sure you guys are, like, it's amazing what you start putting together. And it's amazing what comes to you. And this time alone, that's when the loneliness really sets in. I just remember sitting in Hawaii, like on top of a mountain, right? This crazy hard mountain to climb. And I would climb it almost every night and just sit at the top. And it was amazing, but also so sad, because you start to hear the song of the soul. And that song is not a happy one right now. Well, it can be. But usually it's, the soul wants to love. It wants true compassion and connection. To live this life with nobody else at your side. What's the worth of it? If no one existed, what's the joy of living, right? I mean, creating is great, like all the Nikola Tesla stuff, and like, yeah, that's awesome. And like, I need that. That's an element. If I didn't have that, I'd choose to die. But at the same time, like, we are all missing a major element in our completion, in our wholeness, and that is that real connection, that real bond. Like, the full expression and acceptance of who you are with someone else, with your tribe, with your, like, community, right? So that's, like, my dream is to create that, is to get there. But when you're feeling that deep loneliness, which I was today, a little bit, like, not to the full extent, but I was feeling like, you know, it's just, why the fuck do I always gotta be alone? Like, I see everyone else out here fucking laughing, having a good time, but it's like, I can't do that anymore. It's like when I hang out with kids my age, I feel ancient. Like, what they think about, what they talk about, how they act, it's like infants, it's children. They don't know anything. They're 10 minutes deep. Like, if I spend time with them, it's like, okay, they got sports, they got gossip, they got celebrities to talk about. They have, like, all these issues and shit that really doesn't matter. And then they have, like, this life that's already prescribed to them. And only, like, the only knowledge or information they have is regurgitated bullshit that's not true. Like, they don't know up from down, seriously. They don't know a single aspect of who they are. They think they're their body or their ego and this personality. Like, they don't have an ounce of truth with them. Not an ounce of knowledge. Not an ounce of true being. Yeah, like, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's beautiful. Like, everyone has, like, their own unique flame, and that is beautiful. And, like, but it's so suppressed, and people, like, I feel like they're children. Like, they don't, I mean, it's great fun, but it's not fulfilling for me. And, like, that loneliness that kicks in right there, getting back to that, it's really important. It's very important. So, like, when you are having those nights, I call them, like, the song, I call it when, like, you're singing the song of the soul. When you're under the stars, let's go under the stars right now. Oh my God. You can't see them, but I look at them every single night. I spend a lot of time out here breathing. Damn, your mind opens up. And the true you enters the body. True thoughts are had. You reflect on life. And that perspective that you bring away from that, that is the element that separates you from the unawakened self. That's the element that separates you from animals. And that's also the element that will guide your life righteously. That will guide your life, so when you look back on it, you look back with happiness, with, like, you're proud of yourself. You did it, right? You gain that perspective at night. There's a frequency in the air that you can tap into. And, like, really sing that song. No matter if you're really sad, don't distract yourself. Embrace that shit. Feel it. Feel what it has to say. And start to integrate that into your being. Right? Integrate that shit. Anyway, that's probably enough on all of that. I'm going to go show you what I do in my solitude, my time of mastery and just fucking bliss, right? Other times, loneliness, but you know how Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Nikola Tesla, they all describe the element of creation as pure ecstasy. They would create ravenously, right, for 2 weeks. They would have that idea and acting on it and be in their state of bliss. But when it came down from that, it was usually characterized by a few days of darkness, just pure depression in these cycles. Like the lowest lows and the highest highs, and I definitely experience that often. But yeah, let's go look at the creation. So here we are in my creative studio, where we're just going to go through some things. But stay tuned for a few minutes later. We're going to talk about some things you need to remember if you're going to be alone, if you're going to take this journey and you're on it. So, let's see. It's back when I was drawing a lot. This is definitely a huge part of my life. This also really helped me start like seeing and thinking way outside the box, just like drawings and drawings. And then like lately is this constant research and like creation. This is just my blueprints for how reality works, kind of. The mechanics of reality right here. So on and so forth. And then this is my work, and this is the sum of all material possessions I own that I actually care about. And it may look like I have money or something, but I don't have a dollar, except these things is how I work. Build websites for just like ideas I'm creating right now. So yeah, I spend every single waking moment either creating ravenously or in nature and like discovering myself, becoming one with the self, right? Or creating. These are the two things I do literally. I spend this is my element. I spent literally hours and hours, probably 16 hours a day, like learning or creating things. And, I mean, it's amazing how far I've come, and it's amazing what it's built for me. But oh yeah. So if you're gonna take this path alone, I really encourage you to start creating, start doing something, whether it's drawing, whether it's researching and writing ideas, whether it's singing or playing an instrument. Whatever it is, create, okay? Because if you're alone, where you can really get huge energy from, instead of like people and drugs and things like this, and like to not be sad, is to create, get in your element, right? And build yourself. All of a sudden you're gonna find that you love that more than anything. You would choose that over spending time with people or partying or anything like this. Like that's what drives you in life, because that's your flame. Create. Other notes. This is really important. Really important. When you're alone, you forget to laugh. You forget to dance. Like truly laugh. And like I realized this, like when everyone left, also I like found myself like, yo, I haven't laughed in like 2 weeks. Like had a really good belly aching laugh. Laugh at yourself. Find a reason to laugh. Find a reason to dance, to sing, right? Any emotion that comes to you, you gotta remember, we gotta be full spectrum beings, so embrace all of it, right? And don't leave out, even if you are alone, don't leave out the elements that you get from someone else, right? So this is why also, I don't know where my journal went. Oh, here it is. Like, journal. This is a brand new journal. But like, here's today, right? And like, my journal is my best friend, right? That's where I can like, express, hey, this is what's going on, like this is how I feel. And like, it's kind of like you have to push yourself to do it at first, but now I love it. I loved, all of a sudden I just start writing about how I feel, and bang, 3 pages might go by, right? So start journaling. The last thing here is love, okay? obviously, like, there's a lot of talk around building yourself and, like, loving yourself and learning how to love yourself. But, like, the way I see it, this journey right now in these stages is to learn that you are your best friend, is to learn that you are love. You are the essence of love. And, like, those nights, every night, when you're just sitting there, right? You're feeling so lonely and you feel like you need other people. If you can just, like, accept that so you can stop thinking about what you don't have and realize that, you know, just maybe, just take a chance on loving yourself, on realizing that actually right now is the happiest you could be possible. Learn to love yourself, whatever that is, whatever it takes. Figure that out, and figure out that you are your best friend. Seriously, that's what this time is about right now. This growth before we all come together. So, yeah, that's what this journey is about. Being alone is creating, learning that you are your best friend, and discovering that you are love. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to support me, please check out my Patreon or donate. The Patreon I'm going to start putting on, like, I've been building all these audio series and projects that are taking a long time, like the Master Blueprints to Manifestation, Master Blueprints to Extrasensory Perception, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be uploading pieces as we go on Patreon more. Also, do Skype sessions. You probably guys already know this. Links in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching. Yeah, be alone, but don't be lonely. And we'll get together soon. Peace.